Hi, and welcome to episode 28. Today we're going to be discussing our upcoming cruise on Virgin Voyages to Alaska and all the excursions we could possibly take. Hi, welcome to the continuing adventures of Two Gray Mice. I'm Meg.
And I'm Rob.
And we are Two Gray Mice. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Meg.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, just bloomin' marvelous, my dad used to always say.
Mm.
So this July, we're getting ready to take a 7-night cruise on Virgin Voyages to Alaska. It's a round trip from Seattle, and today we want to talk a little bit about the cruise, and it's almost time for us to pick our excursions and what we want to do as we hit each port. So we're kind of working with you just like we did with our Disney trip to try to figure it out together.
And I'm just thinking about July because it's currently 11 degrees outside, which is too cold.
Too cold.
Me.
It's too cold.
It's too cold.
And we were laughing because earlier we looked at pictures of Epcot and we're like, well, we could be in Walt Disney World where the fountains are frozen.
Yeah. That was priceless. That's not France. Yeah, and I know there's going to be people out there saying, well, we haven't gotten out of the single digits all week. Well, I sympathize with you, but it's cold outside.
Well, my girlfriend, Roxanne, who we met when we were down there, she was complaining about the temperature of 23 degrees, and I sent her the screenshot at that point in time. It was 9. Her response was, but you chose New York. Yeah. I'm like, that's true. That's true. You chose Florida because you didn't want 23-degree weather.
Yep.
So something to keep in mind while we go through this, as I lose my voice again, is that this Virgin Voyages is not sold out, and I have a group trip planned that I can add to my group. We currently have the best rate that Virgin has offered for this cruise, which is peak season. So most of their sales do not actually take effect for this cruise. So just let me know if you want to join us. It's going to be a fun cruise.
Yes, you can crash Meg's 60th birthday celebration. We will allow that.
I had avoided saying that, but that's okay. Yes.
Well, you're not 60 yet.
That's true.
It's rapidly approaching.
Yeah, any day now. It's like a freight train coming at me. Anyway.
Yeah, and we can make dining reservations at the 60-day mark. That's what reminded me that you were turning 60 this year.
If anybody missed our episodes, it was like 3 and 4, where we talked about our last Virgin cruise. Virgin is a fun cruise line in the fact that everything is included. Gratuities, everything's all in the one price except for alcohol and the excursion costs. There are 20 plus dining venues on board, all of them one fantastic after another. The shows are great. They have some awesome fitness classes from yoga to HIIT to this really cool one on bungees. And your soda is included. So like most cruise lines, you have to buy a package for your non-alcoholic drinks. Unless you're getting a really fancy latte or a fresh squeezed juice on Virgin, everything is included, including Wi-Fi. So think about it. It's going to be fun.
So here's the weird part. We are 6 months out at this point.
Yes.
And I have focused none of my attention at all on the vessel or the amenities within. I've solely been looking at all the things there are to do when we're in the 3 ports that we're going to visit. I haven't even really delved into Seattle. I've heard Seattle's wonderful.
Yeah, I figured we'd delve into that a little bit in the future because, like all good cruises, you should always arrive a day early, at least. So I was thinking about arriving a couple days early and doing a little mini Seattle vacation before we set cruise.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not. We'll find out.
A lot of the attention so far has been on the excursion packages, and we've been watching lots of videos online of things to do in the stops that we're going to hit. Most of them have been very informative. It's helped us, I think, narrow down our priorities, because I don't think we're in any one port for more than 8 hours. So you're kind of tied into figuring out what you want to do before you get there. We did watch a really, really humorous video of a guy who just stepped off the ship into one of our destinations with no knowledge whatsoever of what he was going to encounter. I was like, I'm going to be a little more prepared when I arrive in Prince Rupert. Thank you very much.
Yes, and our travel advisor will make sure you are prepared. If you don't use one, do some research.
She is a witch. Oh.
I put the videos on. Rob sits down in the living room and thinks he's going to relax, and I start putting on research videos for him to watch.
Yeah, okay. No relaxing tonight. All right.
Okay. So in Virgin Voyages, they are called Shore Things, not Excursions, and our first port is going to be Ketchikan, Alaska. Ketchikan is the southernmost entrance and gateway to Alaska's Inside Passage, which is a route of waterways known for its history, abundant wildlife, and awe-inspiring scenery. It is known for its many Native American totem poles on display throughout the town. The nearby Misty Forge National Monument is a glacier-carved wilderness featuring snow-capped mountains, waterfalls, and salmon-spawning streams. It is also home to rich wildlife, including black bear, wolves, and bald eagles. But Ketchikan is also a vibrant destination in its own right. The port is rich in culture and things to do, whether you want to stay in town, explore on your own, or embark on one of the many shore things that you can do. When you arrive, you can stop by Ketchikan Visitors Bureau and get your maps and such. The whole town is only 3 miles long. These towns have like between 6,000 and 8,000 people in them. They're not big. It's 4 square blocks. The main things if you're going to go there and explore on your own, the main things you can do and see in Ketchikan is Creek Street, which is the main drag in old drag actually. In Ketchikan, they consider themselves Alaska's first city because it's the first city you come to when you visit Alaska. These on Creek Street, the buildings are actually directly over the creek on stilts. Misty Forge National Monument, to go see Tonga National Forest and the gorgeous landscape. Many people have talked about, and we've heard a great deal about, the Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show. It's a family favorite. You can learn about Alaska's logging history and actually watch true lumberjacks do their competitions, from log rolling to hatchets. That's what I'm trying to say. Axes. The Alaskan Rainforest Sanctuary is a private reserve in the forest. It's home to bald eagles, black bears, seals. The Totem Heritage Center, there are totems all over. The Native American history in this area is rich and very deep, along with a little bit of Russian culture, for when Russia used to own Alaska. Dolly's House Museum, from the Gold Rush era. Dolly's house used to be, a house in the red light district. It still stands. You can go bear watching. Ketchikan has one of the highest black bear populations in North America. Deer Mountain Trail is a trail that goes through the town, outside of the town itself. You can see black bears there too. Deer Mountain Trail actually goes up to the overlook over Ketchikan, Tonga National Forest. They have a great city park and creek trail, which during salmon season, you can see all the salmon going upstream. We will luckily be there during salmon season. There is a Main Street art gallery and Rainbird Trail, which is a hike around Tonga, or around the city into the Tonga grass area. So that's just an overview of what is there and kind of what we could have picked from or not picked from. Or I know Rob's rolling his eyes. He's like, too much information. Anyway, so now we're going to talk about what Rob thought we should do, and then maybe what I thought we should do, and a little overlap.
just like any of these things. First place I stopped was the cruise line website, and they allow you to search by port. And then once you scroll through that, it has all the different various offerings. So, before we had even started watching videos online, I was going through the various port excursions that they offer and seeing if there was anything that was really interesting. And as far as Ketchikan is concerned, there was a bunch of stuff. And none of the prices for these excursions seemed like really, exorbitant to me. The one thing that I have sort of gleaned through all the research that we've done is the guides, no matter where you are very informative. I mean, we've heard that from a bunch of different reviewers. And there is something, I guess, about a knowledgeable guide and taking a tour of an area that you've never been in before to really make it stand out. So,
yeah, and most of these you're booking them through the cruise line. You don't have to. I usually recommend doing so. So if something happens and you're late back, the cruise ship knows that and will wait for you. But they're usually private companies run in Alaska by families in Alaska, and they're all natives to whatever city you happen to be in.
Right. So much of Ketchikan is a rainforest. A lot of people don't understand that you can have rainforests in Alaska. So they offer this coastal rainforest and wildlife cruise tour. And that sounded very interesting. And not just because there's a snack around a campfire at the end, although I like snacks. But it just seemed to be the kind of tour that was off the beaten path, away from lots of other touristy types, heavily in the wildlife vein. An opportunity to spot whales, sea lions, eagles, and a cruise to a remote island. But then once you're on the island, there is a walk around the island. So I guess there's a elevated walkway and one guide to take you along. The opportunity to see a lot of wildlife, but more importantly, just to really get in touch with a slice of outdoors and nature that, most of us don't get the opportunity to do. And a lot of the pictures that I've seen of the area, it's just enchanting, gorgeous, just beautiful. So I think the idea to get out there in nature for 4 hours was kind of enticing. But then there was another tour, much more expensive than that first one, almost twice as much. But this is on a larger expedition vessel, and it's going to go through the Misty Fords and the Alaska wilderness area. That sounded really interesting. Just a more expensive tour, a longer tour. I think maybe a nicer experience. But again, we're still in that planning phase.
Right. So the first, like you mentioned, the first tour is 4 hours long, and you cruise out to an island. We go for a hike. We have our s'mores on the beach, and we cruise back, and it's all nature focused, which in Alaska makes sense. Sorry, it makes sense. The Misty Fords, you're on a boat the entire time. One that can get close enough to the fjord and to see the whales or the eagles or whatever the case may be.
Right, whatever wildlife they may encounter along their tour.
And it's a 5-hour cruise or event. What I found interesting about the Misty Forge is to get that close to the fjord, because the cruise ships can't. You can only see them from a distance.
Right, and I think that's part of the allure of this particular tour.
Right.
Is being able to get that close.
And there's snacks and drinks are included, and in my life, there's a bathroom.
Yeah, there is a restroom.
Yeah.
Important.
Always important to me. My two that I picked was Eagle Island sea kayaking. Now, when you look at Virgin, they break up their shore things into energetic, cultural, so you can and tell you how active it's going to be. So this one's called energetic. Kayak through Tonga National Forest, famous Clover Pass, learning local lure from an expert Eagle Island guide, and spotting wildlife for 3.5 hours. So you're going to be on your kayak. We're going to be going along the coast of Tongass. I'm saying this wrong. I keep saying grass. Tongass. Tongass National Forest. From Clover Pass to Eagle Island, spot whales, bald eagles, seals. No need to be a professional kayaker. All skill levels can actually do this. I would love to kayak up there. But I also have a fear. 2, I'm not in the world's greatest shape. So it's 3.5 hours. So it's going to take us, let's say, an hour on both ends to get there, get in the kayak, all that fun stuff. So let's say we're only kayaking for 2 hours, or that's a lot of kayaking. Even if you're resting a lot.
It is.
So I think I'd have to get in a little better shape. That and, the whales. I want to see whales. It would be my dream to see a whale from a kayak. To be that close to a whale would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, as long as it's a decent away from the kayak and not like right underneath the kayak.
Right, because you saw that video last year of that one guy being...
Yeah, no.
I mean, the whale spit it back out. The Tongass National Forest, you're also going to hear us talk about in Sitka, because it is actually our largest national forest in the United States.
Yeah.
The other one I thought about was the Ketchikan Photo Safari at Uncharted Brewery. This is 3 hours. And basically, it takes you on a wilderness tour, walking tour, but to all the scenic overviews and where the animals are to get the best pictures. So you end up seeing the totems, the most iconic totems, the rugged beaches. And it's a professional photographer that's helping you do the tour. So they're also teaching you how to use your camera or your smartphone, whatever one you personally bring along,
Too many S's.
Yeah, to how to do it and get the best pictures. It's in a high roof van, so it's not in a bus, which I like because buses would just make me nauseous. And the fact that then you end at Uncharted Brewery and then can relax.
Yeah, because one of the things as we were looking through Ketchikan, I think Meg mentioned this. It's not a terribly large downtown area. You could probably traverse the entire downtown area in about a half an hour. There's a lot of neat things to do there within that area, but our thought was that if we booked a decent 3 or 4 hour excursion, we would have plenty of other time to wander around downtown and soak up some of the sights.
Yeah, which is...
And still get a good dose of nature in the process.
Right, which is why we're looking very much at the nature ones, I think, though we did do these separately and didn't talk about them until now.
We don't talk.
We do too.
No,
anyway, it's...
We talk, but not about anything important.
We were looking at those... You're killing me, kid. We were looking at those, we have 8 hours. We do a 4-hour tour, a 5-hour tour, then we still have 3 hours to wander the town.
Yeah.
My runner-ups were the Rainforest Sanctuary and Totem Park walking tour, which was just 2.5 hours to see all the totems, because I'm a history nerd. I actually have a master's degree in history education for high school students. So learning more about the Native Americans I find would be very cool. But they also have a history center in Ketchikan that I can do that with too while walking the town. Or the Tongass Wilderness and Wildlife Expedition for 3 hours, which is really just a guided hike.
But more importantly, I think for me, I wasn't going to stick myself in a can for 8 hours and then on a ship for a couple of days to arrive at a port and just get on another shuttle and go driving someplace and then wandering around. There's got to be a little more to it.
Right.
Have to explore.
Right. And Rob's getting into a can is a flight, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. He calls them cans.
Cans. 2 cans.
2 cans. So as you can see, we kind of definitely going towards being out in the wilderness. And we also are going to end up comparing what we want to do in one town to another because we don't want to do the same kind of trip explore in each town. We want a little different. And what's cool is like the Tongass Wilderness is very similar to one of Rob's. So these are all small tours. They can easily sell out. So it's always good to have option A, option B, especially if you can find ones that are relatively similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we move on to Sitka. The videos I've watched so far of Sitka are really interesting. I think Sitka's going to be the one city I really enjoy. It's known for its rich cultural heritage, stunning landscapes, and incredible wildlife. And it is a favorite among Alaskan ports, which I guess is why we're stopping there. There's a very unique mix of Tlingit, Russian, and American history, and it offers a memorable experience filled with scenic views, local art, and exciting excursions. The downtown is highly walkable. Most of the cruise ships only dock about 20 minutes outside of downtown at the cruise terminal. There are free shuttles into town. Some smaller vessels anchor offshore and tender passengers directly into downtown Sitka. But
I'm not sure which one we're going to do.
I think we're going to be at the port. But all the things that I've seen online so far, if the weather is good that day, we may just want to wander. The place seems absolutely amazing. But here are some of the excursions that Virgin's offering for that day that we're there. The Raptor Center, which looked really interesting. It's a rehabilitation center. They have eagles and many other birds of prey, many of which you can get very up close to. A must-see for wildlife enthusiasts, and it does offer an educational experience about Alaska's raptors, very important in Alaska. Then the Fortress of the Bears. This looked interesting. It's located in a former pulp mill. It's a bear rescue facility, and it provides a safe haven for orphaned bears. It's the only place in Sitka where bear sightings are guaranteed, making it a popular spot for animal lovers. Yep. And then there's the National Historic Park, which is also known as Totem Park. We've watched several videos of folks negotiating Totem Park, and in some form or fashion, it's going to be a must-see for us. There's an awful lot of the Tlingit culture there, totem poles, museum exhibits. The hiking trails look beautiful. It's at the end of a long sea walk, so there's also a beautiful path along the waterfront. And the one thing that we have also gleaned from watching a lot of these videos is it's the perfect small city for personal exploration. Just wandering. And walking around. Lots of shops, lots of galleries. As we were saying a little earlier, the sea walk. Not a huge, long trail, but beautiful, right along the edge of the sea. and also an awful lot of historic sites. So for history buffs, just wandering around downtown Sitka could be the thing to do. But yeah, I think that's going to be. I'm hoping the weather's good that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the weather's good every day, but
Well,
yes.
sure, but it's Alaska.
It's Alaska.
In
It's a
July.
rainforest. The entire lower tail of Alaska is a rainforest, all the way up to Juneau.
Yeah. So the two tours that I saw that were being offered while we were in Sitka. So there's a Raptors, Totems, and Bears tour. It's almost 4 hours long. There's also a 5-hour version, which
the tags cruise on.
Right. So you're on a boat for part of that time. But it's a visit to the Raptor Center. It's a walk along the Sitka National Historical Park Totem Trail, and then it's a meeting of the bears at the forest of the bear, Fortress of the Bear.
Right.
So that to me sounded really, really interesting, and it's only 4 hours, so it wasn't tremendously long. Then the other one that looked kind of interesting was the Coastal Expedition and Finn Island Lodge Feast. Now, spoiler alert, I don't do crustaceans, and much of the fare that we will encounter while we're in these various ports of call.
But luckily, fish is also.
But there is fish. Right. So it's an open-air expedition vessel. It's going to allow you to explore shallow water areas that are not accessible to larger craft. You're going to tour that beautiful network of rainforest islands and diverse wildlife around Sitka. And then at the Finn Island Lodge, there'll be a delicious feast of Alaskan crab, wild salmon cooked over an alder wood-fired grill, and prime rib. That was about 3.5 hours. So that sounded interesting.
Yeah.
To me as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just want
being able to smaller boat, getting into a lot of the out of the way places.
Right.
Yeah.
Seeing a little bit of the wildlife and then ending with the good food. I mean, Alaska crab to me sounds fabulous. Rob is allergic to crustaceans, so they're right out.
I think I said that.
We said you wouldn't eat them.
I'm allergic to crustaceans.
So there is one creature in this world that I love. We should also say this. Rob and I have gone on many a walk in national parks, whale watching cruises. I love animals, and I always want to see them in their natural habitat. I rarely do. We took a whale watching cruise when we were in Boston. It was one of the largest migrations of humpback whales off the East Coast we had had in decades.
Except for that day.
That one cruise.
Yeah. That particular afternoon.
The captain could not believe the fact that he could not find a whale anywhere. We saw none.
None.
We went to Arcadia National Park. All I wanted to see was the seals on Seal Island, the beavers that are all over the place, maybe a moose. We saw deer, which I see in my backyard. So the first one, we're hoping that my curse does not follow us to Alaska. Instead, it's a sea otter and wildlife quest. I love sea otters. They're just a raft of sea otters.
No. What's not to love about the otter?
Yeah. So sea otters, whales, porpoises, and brown bears. Oh my. You're going to watch out for the iconic wildlife like sea otters in the Sitka Sound with the Alaskan family-owned cruise operation. So you're on a small boat. Friendly, knowledgeable onboard crew is dedicated to making every tour both informative and enjoyable. Complimentary drinks on this Alaska high-speed expedition vessel. So this sounds like one of the large catamarans that they have up there.
Yeah.
I I don't know if I want to be in something that big either, because if you're then, 50 feet in the air. So I want to be closer than that. So like some of your smaller ones that you keep looking at, maybe a little more enticing. But this one mentioned sea otters. Not that the other ones, you couldn't see sea otters too, perchance. I like sea otters. He's smiling at me. The other way is this Silver Bay Wildlife and Homestead. Cruise Sitka Sound and Silver Bay for whales, eagles, and bears, and stop at a rustic homestead for salmon snacks and s'mores by the fire. Depart Sitka Sound Cruise Terminal aboard a heated expedition vessel, watching for otters and such. Cruise Silver Bay Fjord to spot eagles and the brown bear along the shoreline. At a rustic homestead, gather by the fire for smoked salmon on crackers, hot drinks, and s'mores while hosts share local stories. Return via a scenic alternate route with sweeping views of Mount Edgecumbe and the Sitka Sound. So you're going to take a boat out and then a bus back.
But again, something that sounds
right,
fun.
Sounds like fun. Just something that sounded very interesting.
And your smoked salmon was probably swimming like 2 days before. So
yeah, or less.
Actually, smoking takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's true. If it was fresh salmon, it'd be a different story. My number 2 was the Sitka Sound Wildlife Cruise for an hour and a half, which is just a cruise around Sitka Sound on one of these big boats. But that would give us more time, give us an opportunity to see Sitka Sound and maybe whales and nature, and then possibly also then having more time in town. Of course, all of these could be canceled at a moment's notice for weather, depending on where we are. Our last stop, where we actually get off the ship.
And the one that Meg is having the most trouble remembering.
Yeah. We do visit one of the fjords while we're up there. And the glaciers, we get close to it, but we don't obviously get off because you're still in the middle of the water.
Right. There's like a day's cruise through the fjord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prince Rupert Island in British Columbia, Canada. Historic Prince Rupert captivates both mind and heart with its maritime history and awe-inspiring scenery. Located near the Alaskan Panhandle, Prince Rupert was established in 1910 as an intersection of commerce and trade for the First Nations people and continued to develop as a town when selected as the western terminus for the Grand Trunk Pacific Railway. Nestled within a temperate rainforest, experiences 220 days of rain each year, earning the poetic nickname of the City of Rainbows because of where it sits. The sun just gives it lots of rainbows, and supposedly the sunsets are gorgeous too. But from where the raindrops, Prince Rupert shines with the heritage charms best seen in its Railway Station Museum, the Museum of Northern British Columbia, the historic North Pacific Cannery Compound, its stunning vistas captured in flight from the window of the Seaplane Adventures Amaze. Abundant wildlife can be observed on the land, and would you pronounce that? Kutsimatin Grizzly Bear Sanctuary?
Sure.
And seen from the deck of a wildlife cruise on the chilly waters, you will have humpbacks and all sorts of things. So you've got the 2 museums, the Grizzly Bear Sanctuary, and North Pacific Cannery. You have lots of hiking trails in the area. The Boots Rapid Trail through the rainforest. There's a railway museum, which excites Rob. There's a provincial park. And then the Seal Cove Salt Marsh, which seems a little out of the way and kind of surrounded by an industrial area, but we'll see.
Of all of the 3 stops,
yeah.
I think Prince Rupert is the one that we've had the least exposure to at this point.
Yep.
And very, very small downtown area. I think an awful lot of the attractions, if you will, around Prince Rupert are outside of town. The one thing that we have learned in the research that we've done is don't go to Prince Rupert, Canada, looking for maple syrup. And I don't know what it is. I don't know who started this rumor, but people keep going to getting off these ships and going into downtown Prince Rupert looking for maple syrup that doesn't exist.
No, maple trees don't grow in rainforests, by the way. So
I
it's pretty
think
funny.
at some point before we sail, we're going to figure out what this great mystery is all about.
But Prince Rupert
yeah.
is actually the most developed town.
True.
It has, Ketchikan, you can't get to Ketchikan by road or by railroad. You could only fly into it by seaplane or take a boat. Sitka, I think, has a road, but I'm not positive. Juneau is the only capital you cannot get to by road. You have to fly in or take a boat. So you can get to this particular city by train. It actually has a Walmart. The other stops don't have this kind of industrial background or look to it, which is why I think we have to go more outside of the town to see nature.
True.
So what were your options that you were looking at?
Yeah. There's not really an awful lot to do cruise excursion wise.
Right.
But the two that struck my fancy was the Gastronomy Village trolley tour, because it did have a stop at Many Totems, Seal Cove, and then the Mediterranean Meze experience. That's the big bang there on that one. It's exploring Prince Rupert from the comfort of a vintage trolley, guided by a local expert who's also a chef.
Right.
And after the tour, discovering the city's highlights and learning about the Tishman culture and enjoying photo stops along the way, you'll end your experience with a beautiful Mediterranean meze meal at Arabesque. And then they'll ferry you back to your ship. The other one that looked interesting was just the straight up trolley tour.
Right.
Because it's only about an hour and a half. It's going to hit all the high spots in that immediate area and expose you to all of the historical local landmarks. So that those were the only two that have really piqued my curiosity up until now.
Right. Yeah. And what we did see on some of the videos this morning was there's a really good bakery supposedly right across from the cruise terminal that makes their own croissants that seem to be on the must-visit list. There's a brewery. You always have to go to the brewery.
Yeah, if there's a brewery, you have to stop in.
And there was something else I was going to say, and it just left me. Down the street.
Where was the hidden garden that we were looking
that
at?
The sunken garden
was part garden is in Prince Rupert.
Prince Rupert.
Yeah.
So a little walking tour of our own to Prince Rupert sounds like it might be a nice day in itself. What I looked at was actually a whale and marine life discovery cruise on one of those big catamaran ships. It's 4.5 hours long, going along the Pacific Northwest on this comfortably designed vessel with panoramic views, looking for gray whales, orcas. They also have similar cruises that go up to the grizzly bear sanctuary area. Obviously, you don't walk through the grizzly bear sanctuary area unless you're a sprinter, because they're grizzly bears and they're big. But yeah, that's, that same thing. That's all I could think of to do that really excited me. But then if I did that one, I wouldn't do the one in Sitka. I don't even want to take one whale watching cruise unless I saw no whales up to that point.
Which is a distinct possibility with your luck.
With my luck. Exactly. It is with my luck.
Just like with any other trip, we're, like I said, we're 6 months out. We're comparing options. At this point, we haven't really spoken to the rest of the folks who are joining us on the trip.
Yeah, because it's my family. It's not just it's all four of us.
To see what their interests are. But when we started off this whole conversation with everybody about the trip and let them know what stops we were making, we didn't really feel that we were going to be having like a big group excursion on any one of these stops. It could actually happen.
Right.
Because everybody's been given the same list of places that we're going. So they're doing their research. And I'm sure we're going to have a member or two who's just going to be like, well, what are you guys doing today?
Yeah.
I'll come hang out with you.
Right, which is fine. But then also, like, we're going to be spending all of our
have to book an excursion,
right, but also we're going to be spending a lot of time together when we're on the ship for the shore days.
Well, that's what you think.
That's what I think. So, and having dinner together. So we may want to run away and escape.
That's the other weird thing about this vacation. I mean, like, so we're going away with lots of people we know, and some people that we see every day.
Yes, and some people that are
and I'm
very
not
close.
Sure I want to see those people I see every day while I'm on the cruise.
So all the excursions that we talked about
today. Vacation.
All the excursions we talked about today run anywhere between like $125 and $275. There are excursions, like there's one for $4,000 in Sitka that's, you create your own custom tour and you have a personalized tour guide for the entire day. That's not really on our affordability list.
No, but it's not really on our radar either.
No.
No,
I don't need my handheld.
I love being pampered and I love being taken care of, but that's a level of, I don't really need that when I'm on vacation.
Right.
I want to go exploring.
Right.
That one couple we watched the video of, they were so proud that they had actually, it was midday and they had gotten their 10,000 steps in already.
Right. That's more our speed.
Yeah, for us, 10,000 steps is a light morning.
Right. Well, for you. But there's like in Sitka, you can actually go scuba diving in the coves.
Yeah.
Or no, snorkeling. Sorry, not scuba diving, snorkeling. So this is just a small taste of what is possible in Alaska. And I have a strange feeling that after this cruise, we're going to want to go back to Alaska.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I know.
There's plenty of places we've gone to that I'd go back to.
Yes, there is. So that's just the beginning of our Virgin Voyages planning. Like I said earlier, it is going to be, I have a group cruise package planned, so anybody can join us. We're going to Ketchikan, Sitka, which is also called the first city, but that was because it was the first city, not the first city you run into. The Tracy Arm Fjord, Prince Rupert, and British Columbia, and then back to Seattle. We are going from July 23rd to July 30th, and my information is in the show notes, but Meg at megandthemouse.com. If you want to join us, it's going to be fun. So I think that's it. I think we're good. Do you have anything else you wanted to say?
I thought we were supposed to do this other thing that you put in front of me.
But yes.
Oh, yeah. As far as the first thing?
Yes. Did you have any more thing to say about the topic of conversation?
No, I'm really looking forward to going on the cruise.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
What can I say?
Yeah. So thank you for listening to The Adventures of Two Gray Mice. Please leave a rating and review wherever you listen.
You can follow us on Instagram at Two Gray Mice Podcast.
You can send any questions about anything or planning your next vacation to twograymice@gmail.com.
Until next time, I am Rob.
And I'm Meg. And we are Two Gray Mice. Have a great week, folks. Thank you for listening to The Adventures of Two Gray Mice. We would love it if you could please leave us a rating or review wherever you listen to this podcast. For all your vacation needs at Disney, Universal, or cruise lines, please reach out to Meg at megandthemouse.com. Have a great week.